Advisory services are offered through Creative Financial Designs Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities are offered through CFD. Investments Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer, member of FINRA and SIPC. 765-453-9600. Diamond Financial Group is not associated with the CFD companies.
Good afternoon. This is your host, Jason Murphy, with Money in Motion from Diamond Financial Group. And looking forward to today's show. We have a guest with us, Miss Barbara Stebing from First Volunteer Bank. And we were going to be talking to her about several things today, but first I'm going to start out by telling you all about a group, an organization that myself and Darren Wilson started about 2 years ago, actually a little longer than that, called the Highland Business Leaders. And the Highland Business Leaders, or HBL as we refer to it, is a local group of business professionals in different genres of business that gather together once a month. We get to know each other. It is a faith-based type of group. There's no fees or dues involved. It's just a group of business professionals, again, from different types of businesses that get together, and we try to encourage each other and support each other. We help each other with each other's businesses. We give some advice, some encouragement. We pray for one another. And my friend Barb from First Volunteer Bank was one of the first members, other than myself and Darren Wilson from the realty firm. Barbara was one of our first members, and so she has been with us from the beginning. We've now grown to a group of about 15 individuals. So good afternoon, Barbara. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
That's great. You know, Barbara, I was thinking back. I know that we have known each other a long time. Can you remember about how long?
About 30 years.
Holy cow. That makes me feel really old. So I was 2 at the time. Okay, I'm just kidding. I wasn't quite that young. But yeah, we have gone to church together going back about 30 years. And so I'm excited to have you on the show today. And I wanted to tell our listening audience about HBL, and I'm going to give you a little bit of forethought so you can think about how to answer this question. Well, I'm going to read our mission statement from Highland Business Leaders, but I am going to ask you to tell our listening audience how HBL has maybe helped you a little bit in your business. And we'll put an invite out there for people that want to learn more about Highland Business Leaders. They can actually go to www.highlandbusinessleaders.com to read our mission statement, to see who some of our members are and information about when we meet and that kind of thing. But our mission statement for Highland Business Leaders is a group of community professionals that together create an association of leaders in his or her respective field who share the same principles and values to achieve a higher level of business excellence. Each member adheres to a strict code of conduct, creating a membership that is focused on doing business with a high level of integrity, character, and ethics. So just speaking about Highland Business Leaders for just a minute, Barb, how has HBL helped you in your profession?
HBL has helped me tremendously. It is very uplifting to be able to meet with a group of professionals that all have integrity as their number one goal. Integrity of dealing with customers and being of service to their customers and each other. It's a wonderful place for referrals. I've received several from there. And just to be able to lift and build each other up and share ideas for business growth and has been wonderful.
That's perfect. Now, I know it was Darren Wilson who had, of course, he's a realtor, and he had referred you to HBL and asked you to come out. I had known you for 30 years, and I don't know that I realized what you did for a living. But through HBL, I know you were able to help me refinance my home with a VA loan and get an exceptionally good rate. And I just wanted to personally thank you for your service in helping me save my family hundreds, if not thousands of dollars by getting that refinance done. So I wanted to spend some more time talking to you, and we're going to do that after the break. And I have a little bit more time this segment, so we're going to talk about some more personal kind of things before we get into more of the business aspect of what you do. But if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about how you got to Cookeville and how you got into being a mortgage lender.
We moved to Cookeville back in 1983. My husband was hired as an engineer with, then it was called Porlon, and so we moved our family down here. I originally grew up in central Indiana, about an hour east of Indianapolis, in a little tiny town called Cambridge City, and went to Ball State University, and my husband went there also. We lived there for a few years, moved to Michigan for a few years, and then came down to Cookeville and decided to stay and settle. It's such a wonderful, warm community and a wonderful place to raise your family. And we've raised 3 children who are now all adults, and we now have 7 grandchildren, ages 5 months to 10 years, and they are all just wonderful blessings. We've got 2 children that live in the Cookeville area and one that's in Georgia.
Outstanding. So, Barb, to say the least, you have definitely integrated and become a part of this community for over 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome, and I know we're better off for having you here in the Upper Cumberland area. So we are going to talk more to Barb for the next segment about her job duties and how she helps people and how she can maybe even get some advice to our listening audience with what she does out there at First Volunteer Bank right on Willow. If you do have any questions and want to send in information to our show, you can email me at moneyin motion@cfdinvestments.com. That's moneyin motion@cfdinvestments.com. So I appreciate my listening audience being out there and talking with us, and we will be back here in just a couple of minutes after a word from our sponsors right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
This July, my wife and I will be celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary. I am so excited, and I want to do something special. To celebrate this amazing event. You see, it was about 10 and a half years ago that I proposed to my wife, and at the time, I couldn't afford to give her the ring that I wanted her to have. So this year, I'm going to surprise her with not only an anniversary band, but I wanted to do something special to replace and improve her engagement and wedding band. I looked around and asked many people who could do the best job for such an important event for such a special person in my life. Let me take a minute of your time to tell you about a longtime friend of mine from high school, Matt Phillips. Matt Phillips is now the owner and master jeweler at the Jewelry Emporium. I have been working with Matt and the professionals at the Jewelry Emporium to create the perfect ring for this special occasion. When you're ready to pop the question, or you have that special moment in life that you want to celebrate with the perfect ring or jewelry, the professionals at the Jewelry Emporium will take the time and pay attention to every detail to make sure your moment is right. Call my friends at the Jewelry Emporium at 526-8366 to celebrate your next big event with that perfect symbol.
Death and taxes, the only things that are certain, right? Everyone's in the market for a car at some point, though. That's what I found after living on this earth for so many years. Well, my frugal family found itself searching for a vehicle. With all my dad's advice from years and years of working on cars in the back of my mind, my husband and I strolled through car lots for over a month, searching for our perfect vehicle. Well, we found it right here in Cookeville. One rainy day, we walked into Nissan of Cookeville with a list of tough questions and a written down budget. Scott Davenport met us at the door, answered every single question, and addressed every concern we had. He made a potentially anxious situation as easy as I've ever experienced. So stop by and see my friend Scott Davenport at Nissan of Cookeville, or reach him at 528-7715. That's 528-7715. Nissan of Cookeville. sale.
Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, here with my guest, Barbara Stebing from First Volunteer Bank. And Barbara, I'm again excited to have you here. Thank you for sharing with us a little bit about HBL, about Highland Business Leaders, and how we've really come to have a professional relationship beyond a personal one. And I do want to get into your business. So just tell me a little bit about your business and what you do there at First Volunteer Bank.
I am a mortgage lender, and I do all the loan products that we sell out to investors. And this is where you get your fixed rates from 10 to 30 years. And I do conventional loans that will go to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, FHA, VA veterans loans, and USDA rural development loans. Can do any of those. We can do fixed rates. We can also do adjustables, which most people don't want with a low rate environment like we have right now. And I pre-qualify customers, try and guide them through the process when they're out looking for homes so that they know how much they can afford, approximately what their payments and things will be, so that they know when they go out and shop for a home what price range to be looking for, so that they're not expecting more than they're able to afford or more than their comfort level for a payment.
Gotcha. So if someone is in the market for a home, they can come see you before they even start shopping to know what they can afford comfortably, what you feel like based on their information they can get in a home.
Yes. And we can pull their credit so that they know what their scores are and they know what to expect in a payment range. I also advise people that maybe don't have any credit at all.
Okay.
There are a couple of products out there that you can do if they have other means of supporting when they don't have any credit. So there are a couple of options that way. But I also advise people and show them how to build credit scores, how to open new lines, whether it's revolving credit cards or opening an installment loan or things like that to establish their credit so that they can buy a house.
Right. So now I encourage my listeners to get out of debt as much as possible when they can. And if there are young listeners out there, I encourage them not to get in debt to begin with at all. Now, with me encouraging that, it's almost a catch-22 because you almost have to have some debt to be able to build a credit score.
Correct.
So is there any ways to build a credit score without having large amounts of debt?
You can do it with small amounts, yes.
Okay.
One way that we do sometimes for young people, put a little bit of money in a certificate of deposit, borrow against that, pay on it for 12 months. They still can collect the interest off of that certificate of deposit and pay a very low rate on the other, and just show that history of being able to make a payment every month for 12 months. They can open small credit cards. They don't have to be anything large amounts. Just charge something once a month, tank of gas or something, pay it off before it's due. They won't owe any interest. It still establishes their credit. Even if it sits there open without any new charges, it will still build a credit score for them. People in college can use their student loans as long as they're making payments on them. That will build credit history also. Small car loans, things like that. But in order to build those credit scores, yes, they do need to establish some credit, but it doesn't have to be huge amounts.
Okay. And so going back for just a second, the people that do have the student loans in deferment, that's not going to help their credit score any whatsoever because they're not making those regular payments.
Because they haven't made the payments on them yet.
Okay. That's good. Now, I know we have a friend jointly that helps people master their credit score named Tammy Smith. And so that is another resource people can listen to some of the commercials at the breaks, and you can listen for Tammy Smith and Master My Score, and I believe it is mastermyscore.com. You can go to get a hold of Tammy if you want some more help on that side of things. But I want to get back to mortgage lending. So, Barbara, if you could pick any client out there, I know I have my clients that are not necessarily the clients that I make the most money off of, but they're the clients I feel most passionate about helping, because I can impart some wisdom for them and get them started in life. And for me, it's those younger clients that have never really invested before, but I can get them started right. And I know they have a long time horizon to get to where they want to be by the time they retire. Do you have that ideal client that you're kind of looking for?
Well, I think my ideal client that I'm looking for would be someone with awesome credit, and a little bit of money down would be ideal, just because it's a little bit easier loan to be able to process and get through and get approved. But the soft spot in my heart is for the young people, or people that have never owned a home, just to be able to help them get into that first home and be able to get to that closing and guide them through this process, because there's a lot of paperwork to it, a lot of paperwork, and it's a very overwhelming thing to go through for young people, and just to get them to that closing table and for them to be able to afford that first home is
so I imagine you can see the excitement in their eyes, and knowing that you can help someone like that. So I think this is a loaded question a little bit, but I really want your honest response. There's some people that feel more comfortable with renting. Is there a huge disadvantage to renting, or is that a good idea for a young couple until they can build up some cash and some credit? What are your thoughts there?
I would work at maybe for a year, building up a little bit of cash reserve and getting that credit established if you can before you go out and buy. I think buying is a wonderful way to build equity for yourself. Rent is always going to be subject to going up. I mean, if you look at rent over the last 30 years, it's gone up. Your home payment, if you've got a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, it's going to stay the same. The only thing that'll change and go up a little bit might be your taxes and insurance. And then the value of your home is going to increase over time, and it's building you a lot of equity.
That's awesome, Barbara. I appreciate your time. We're going to come back right after this segment and spend a little bit more time asking you a few more questions. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to Money in Motion. I'm Jason Murphy, and you've been listening to News Talk 1077 and 1400 The Hub.
Affordable, effective, reliable, and proven. Since 2001, Painter's Dream Productions has provided website design and audio-video production services. Since 2008, we've added social media marketing and search engine optimizations to our portfolio of services. Our job is to take you to the next level. We have an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau, and to see our work or for more information, visit us at paintersdream.com. Would you like a free consultation? Call 931-488-1002.
Hi, this is Jason Murphy with Money in Motion. I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Tammy Smith with Master My Score right here in Cookeville. You see, she's a credit consultant and helps people get their credit score up so you can buy that next house or an automobile. I recommend my clients call Tammy Smith to fix their credit score. For more information, go to mastermyscore.com or call 996-7375. That's 996-7375.
Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm Jason Murphy, your host from Diamond Financial Group, and I've been talking with Barbara Stebing and just enjoying the conversation of learning a little bit about mortgages. And Barbara, I did want to just jump right back into it and ask you, I know I refinanced with you and had an amazing experience, and I know I've actually sent you some referrals of people that have also come back to me and said that they just love the experience and how you help them through every step of the process. One client specifically, and of course I'm not going to mention names, but they had been trying to get a mortgage over an online entity, and we probably don't need to mention what that entity was. I can't remember what it was anyway. But is it still a good idea in this day and age, if someone hasn't financed? I would really like you to talk to refinancing, and specifically, how much does someone need to be able to knock off of what their current loan rate is for it to behoove them, based on, you, of course, you still have to pay closing costs. And so there's an offset there that, I mean, I know for, 0.5%, that might not be enough of a margin for someone to be worth it for them to refinance. So where is that line, and is it still a good time to refinance?
Yes, it still is a good time to refinance as long as you don't already have a very low rate.
Okay.
I still do quite a few refinances for people that are wanting to maybe combine a first and a second, or pay off a lot of additional debt. It just makes sense to roll it together at a lower rate and have that fixed and get out from under some credit card debts or a second mortgage that is not on a fixed rate.
Okay.
So as long as you're saving some money or possibly lowering your term. Some people that have been a few years into a 30-year and they decide they want to try it on a 15-year, it just makes sense if it's saving you enough money, and we'll figure that and show you how much money you're going to save in interest.
Okay.
Kind of a general rule of thumb. It depends on the loan size, really, but if you're saving at least 1%, it's worth looking into seeing. You want to be able to get those closing costs back in about 48 months in order for it to be of a good benefit to you.
Right.
And I always figure that for you and show you and give you the options and let you make a determination if the refinance is right or not. And then one reason to pick a local lender to do your refinance rather than online, especially on a refinance, it just makes more sense. You've got local control. You have the option of choosing appraisers that are sent locally. When you're using a big national company, sometimes the appraisers will come out of Nashville or Knoxville and do not know this market.
Right.
And a lot of times the appraisals just don't work.
Don't stack up to what they
don't
could
work,
be. Right.
And you end up wasting, $500 or so on an appraisal and a deal that won't work.
Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds great. So if our listening audience is interested in maybe refinancing, is it okay for them to contact you, just get some information? They're not going to be tied in or committed to anything, just by giving you a call and maybe getting some advice from you. Is that fine? Where can they contact you, Barbara?
They can call me at the bank, and it's 931-646-5519 is my direct line.
Okay.
Or also my cell phone, 931-510-0052. Member FDIC insured and equal housing lender.
Now, if you need any of that information, you can always just stop by and see Barbara Stebing at First Volunteer Bank right there on South Willow Avenue. It's at 351 South Willow. If you didn't catch any of that information, if you want Barbara's email address, her phone number, her cell phone number, the address of the bank, again, remember that you can always email me at moneyin.motion@cfdinvestments.com. Again, that's moneyin.motion@cfdinvestments.com. If you have any financial questions, if you have questions for any of our past guests or future guests, please feel free to email me at any time at moneyin.motion@cfdinvestments.com. So, Barbara, I was going to tell you that I'm excited that the good Lord willing, I'm about 3 weeks out from finishing my book. And I haven't told the listening audience a specific release date yet, because my book does have to go through a compliance process and all that. But the title of my book is Dirty Money. The subtitle is The Shocking Truth of How Your Investment Dollars Are Funding Abortion, Pornography, and Other Unethical Industries, and How to Stop It. And Barbara, a lot of people just don't realize when they're invested in mutual funds, they've never gone through the process of having their mutual fund evaluated with a software program that will lay out for them where their money is being invested in what industries, and specifically what areas that they would be appalled by if they knew their money was supporting that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so I'm trying to shed some light on that subject for future investors and for people that are interested in learning more about BRI, or biblically responsible investing. And so would love for people to come by and see me at my new office. And you've gotten to see my new office. I would love to hear your impression of it.
It's a beautiful office. I really enjoyed getting to see it, and I know you'll be of a great benefit to people and help them with their money and investing. That's one area, even as a mortgage banker, I do not know a lot about, and I depend on people like you that will help invest money. And we had 401k that we rolled over into an IRA with you, Jason, and we depend on you to help keep our money safe and help it to grow and help us to understand where we're invested and the best way to benefit me. We all need help from experts in other fields, and you're a great person to rely on.
I truly appreciate that, Barb, for real. And I know you and Mark are just amazing people, and I find it an honor that you would trust me in that area. And so the point you make there to me is something I want to reiterate to the listening audience, that I work with people that are just starting out in the financial realm, whether I actually have clients as young as 14 years of age where parents have started what's called an UTMA, a Uniform Transfer to Minors Act type of investment product for them. I have 17-year-olds that have opened Roth IRAs, and then our client base goes all the way up to 93 years of age, people that are actually in retirement. You're in the middle there for sure, and you're in a situation where you're getting close enough to retirement that you want to be careful that your money is not too at risk, but you still want it to continue to grow so that you can eventually retire when you get to that point in your life.
That's my hope.
I'm sure it is. So I know that you are enjoying your work out there at First Volunteer Bank, and I can't thank you enough for being on my show this wonderful Sunday afternoon. Again, my name is Jason Murphy. You've been listening to Money in Motion right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
646-5519. Those numbers may not mean a whole lot to you right now, but you're going to want to write this number down. My name is Jennifer. My husband and I, we're frugal people. While we like to get a lot of value for our money, to say the least, we stretch every dollar. So last year, we decided that we wanted to refinance a mortgage on our house. We did our research, and that's when I met Barbara Stebing. Her official title is loan officer. She's not just thorough, not just thoughtful. She actually anticipated my family's needs throughout the whole process of the refinance. And trust me, folks, when I say they were tricky needs. She was just amazing. Can't say enough about it. By the time the process was over, I called her my friend. You can be friends with Barbara. All you need to do is go to Willow Avenue in Cookeville next to Jackson Plaza and go into First Volunteer Bank and tell my friend Barbara Stebing that you're there to save money, and she will do it for you. The number is 646-5519. So stop by First Volunteer Bank and see Barbara Stebing.
Member FDIC insured and equal housing lender.
When we at Diamond Financial Group decided to open our new office, I knew I wanted to update my new computer, so I went to the professionals at the Computer Doctor in Sparta to discuss my needs. They took the time to find the perfect combination of professionalism and portability I wanted to effectively and efficiently do my job. In addition to great customer service, they also saved my business money by providing us with a state-of-the-art phone system that will surpass our business needs. Since then, the professionals there have always delivered every time I had a technological need. Call my friends at the Computer Doctor for your personal and commercial needs at 837-4357 or go see them at 180 Churchill Drive in Sparta. Again, their phone number is 837-4357.